Welcome to UC Summit with me, David Dungay. I have with me today two gentlemen, Tim Mercer, CEO from Vapor Cloud, and Chris Gensmantel, IT Group Manager from JCT600. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you doing?
Thanks,
Yeah,
David.
good. Yeah. It's living the pandemic, living the dream, enjoying it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
all
look,
good, mate.
today we're going to be talking about your transformation journey, Chris. That's JCT600's transformation journey to the cloud. And it started a little while ago, and obviously Vapor Cloud were your partner on this sort of transition on this journey. So let's start off with a few introductions. Chris, let's start with you. Let's tell us who you are and a little bit about the business.
Hi, I'm Chris Gensmantel. I'm Group IT Manager for JCT600. We're a car retailer with just over 50 sites, based predominantly in Yorkshire, but varied all the way up to Newcastle, down to Boston and Lincolnshire, Chesterfield. So yeah, we're a family-owned business which has grown steadily over the last 75 years. It's our 75th anniversary this year. Um, Yeah, and I've been with the group for about 8 years now. I came over as an acquisition from another group, and so I've been with the group now for just over 21 years continuously.
21 nice. Wow. Okay. And Tim, tell us about yourself and Vapor Cloud.
Vapor Cloud, 7 years old, MSP in the north of England, just outside Leeds, supplying everything from solutions for customers from Microsoft licensing right through to voice, data, SD-WANs, firewall services. So anything that encompasses security networks, firewalls, and voice in an environment is pretty much our bag, really.
Excellent. Okay. Well, look, let's rewind the clock to 3 years ago or so when you started this transformation journey, Chris. Can you outline some of that journey? What sparked it? What got you going on that journey? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, when I joined the group, we had 50 odd disparate PBX systems. They were ranging from up to 15 years old up to to quite new. Some of them were hosted solutions from the likes of Cisco. Some of them were very old systems that shouldn't really be in existence anymore. But we made a decision that we needed to standardize, and the Avaya product came very much from my background. My background was with Nortel and Avaya, so the decision was quite a simple one, and we started to move the group onto an Avaya platform locally at each site. That was a great decision. It gave us good manageability of the systems, but it didn't really give us central management. We still spent a lot of our time driving around the country, fixing localized problems, and we didn't have much standardization as things changed. So about 3 years ago, we engaged with Tim and his team over at Vapor, and we looked to standardize on the whole system and to bring it together into one cloud manageable platform. Now, Tim had recently, before then, become a major partner with Avaya for a cloud solution. And this for us just fitted perfectly. It was a platform we understood, we knew it was going to work, and he was able to offer us a system that would be much more reliable and would allow my team to manage things centrally without having to drive around the whole of the country.
Okay, Tim. I mean, tell us about your journey in the cloud market. Were you born in the cloud? Was that your objective from day one? I know you've got relationships with a few different vendors there, but obviously Avaya was the system for the job.
Yeah, we're 7 years old. Like I said, we've always done cloud. We've never done any on-premise or anything on-prem, either hardware or PBXs. We're a cloud player, true cloud player from day dot. So for us, it was a natural transition to help Chris and his team move into a cloud environment. Avaya for us, we've worked with Content Guru for many years, and we're still a partner of theirs today for our high-end contact center and other customers. But for Chris's service, we felt that Avaya was a right suit. He obviously knew the platform and the service. We had the relationships, and yeah, there's 50 sites. So we needed to, in my opinion, we needed to bring it into that 21st century world really, and start utilizing some of the services that they could from a cloud environment.
Yeah, 50 sites, 50 phone systems to transition. Chris, let's start with you. I mean, tell us what that must have come with a few challenges. What were the big obstacles to making this move?
Yeah, I mean, my team is certainly for a group of our size is quite small. There's only nine, including me, that look after our whole IT setup. So yeah, the challenges were, there were many early on. The trying to actually create a standardized format to be able to roll this system out, communicating that with Vapor. There was many meetings and a lot of planning before we even attempted to roll out the first site. And the first few sites, they were a slog to get right. This wasn't a small decision that we made. This was standardizing not just all our phone systems, but the board of directors had decided to launch a new contact center for the group to offer improved customer service around our service booking teams. And certainly the challenges were very much trying to bring together everybody within the team, everybody within Vapor's team at the same time, and be able to roll that over a 12-month period. And the initial timescale was to try and do it in 9 months, but you initially you have to get things right. And once you've got it right, the challenges weren't really challenges. They were the best thing that we did, because actually they gave us the blueprint to be able to roll out in the future to the rest of the group. We were rolling out sites from 9 a.m. and they were done by 12 o'clock at lunchtime.
Wow.
So yeah, certainly without Vapor Cloud and my team as a partnership, we wouldn't have been able to deliver that to the group.
Okay, tell us quickly there. Those 50 sites, standardising across everyone. How did some of those local branches react to maybe having some of their control taken away from them when it comes to their setup?
Yeah, absolutely. Our heads of business, they were used to. Each head of business was always told, "This is your business." Imagine that when you come in the morning and you arrive at your single Volkswagen site, this is your business to run. This is your baby. And when you start taking away the tools to be able to influence what they do on a day-to-day basis, you get a lot of pushbacks. When you start trying to standardize and put single systems in, people automatically feel like what they're doing is threatened and their individuality is threatened. So yeah, you get 70% of the people who'd be more than happy with what you're doing, but there'd always be the ones that would want it their way. Now, 2.5 years on, it's a very different conversation. They're very happy with what we do now, and they do understand why we've done it, and they see the benefits of having a cloud solution now.
Okay, and Tim, from your side, big project, probably full of lots of hurdles to overcome. How was that transition for yourself?
Yeah, it's a big piece of work. There's nearly 2,500 users and 50 sites. So, I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy, because it wasn't. There was definite challenges along the way. Chris hit on it earlier there. There's a lot of planning goes into it in the early stages. I think what we said earlier about us being a cloud player, we understand networks really well. So understanding and trying to drive that traffic and where that traffic's going to flow, and understand how the people are going to react, and especially how customers are going to react with the dealerships, was really, really important. So we tried to understand that at the beginning. But yeah, there were days, as Chris will probably, we've had a few beers over it. There were days where we've been pulling our hair out over certain things. But like I said, once we got through those early stages, some of the snagging bits, once we got that done, the rollout was pretty cool, actually. It was quite straightforward. And we don't look after Chris's network, so it was then making sure that we could build our SIP service into that network and drive that traffic as well. So there was also another player built into that, which we had to contend with. But yeah, in general, pretty smooth, mate, to be fair.
Okay, so March 2020, here in the UK, everything went a little bit crazy. Take us back to the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. You'd obviously started your journey prior to that. How did that help you sort of overcome some of the challenges, and what were the immediate challenges, I guess, at that point?
Yeah, the immediate challenges that we came across was it was more around getting people home and getting them live. And without a cloud platform, it's very difficult to do that. Having to we couldn't. In fairness, we couldn't have done it with the old way. We without a cloud platform, it would not have allowed us to facilitate our guys to work from home as they do today. I mean, what they have now is exactly what they would expect in the office. They get up in the morning, they log onto their phone, they answer calls, they deal with inquiries. And as for the customer, they don't feel that it's got any worse. Our customer satisfaction scores have remained constant throughout the pandemic. And if I'm honest, we've seen no degradation in service levels at all, sending people home. In fact, there's a large amount of people now considering, should we do this more often? Should this become the new norm? To a degree.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so for an industry, buying a car is traditionally thought of as you have to go look, touch and feel kind of thing. How have you adapted to that? And what does that customer experience journey now look like for those customers that are interacting with yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, Google did a very large study about 10 years ago, and they changed it from the first moment of truth to the zero moment of truth. Because the first moment of truth is when they phone you, when they visit a dealership. The zero moment of truth is actually where customers spend most of their time now. Like any of us on the call now, we've all been online, we've all configured cars. We all actually pretty much know exactly what car you want next. You want your comfort, your sound pack, you want your heated seats, which alloys you want. You kind of know before you even arrive at the dealership what you want, which is why we're no longer really dealerships. We are retailers now. It's all about making sure that the customer journey is as slick and smooth as possible. And without technology in the background to be able to facilitate this, customers, we wouldn't know what they want. We know what they want before they even arrive. They know what they want, and it's just a matter of looking after them now the best we can.
Yeah. And Tim, from your side, obviously MSP in the north of England, you're constantly in contact with your customers. How do you get to that? You've taken them through this transition, but what's next? How do you take your customers to the next level? What comes next for these for customers like JCT?
Well, I think that was starting at the beginning. We talked about what we were going to look for as the transition of the network and the service rolled out. What did the business want to do? We didn't just put the voice in and the platform in and then say, let's have a look at it. We knew what Chris and the team wanted to do early doors, and that was really important from a roadmap perspective as to what the business was trying to achieve. And it helps, as I said earlier, that we can understand how a network's built and the security elements around it, but also then bringing them into Avaya and working with Avaya on working with Chris pretty closely and understanding what he wanted to do. We've got a good relationship, and I think I would say that comes down to the people that work on Chris's account and Chris's team. They want to go home. We need to make sure that they can go home simply, smoothly, and it doesn't have too much of a degradation to service to their end customers, which are us, the general public trying to buy a car. So I think we got that right early doors. Yeah, again, some headaches and some challenges, don't get me wrong, but we fixed those. But then it's what's next, what Chris wants to do and what the business wants to do moving forward. And I think that's where the platform in itself adds value.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, guys, I think we're coming to the end of our session today. Thank you so much for joining me and taking us through your journeys. I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungate, on UC Summit.